Hello everyone, welcome back. Uh, that was the first move, but we will pretend that you didn't see. So, welcome back to another episode of our series Alekhine versus Capablanca World Chess Championship 1927. So, this is game number 11, and as I told in previous video, 11 is a odd number. That means Capablanca is with the white pieces and Alekhine is with the black pieces. So, as we also know what is the opening and what is the initial moves, but still, we will start pretending that we don't know. And Capablanca opens with d4. Alekhine replies with d5. Alekhine's Capablanca goes for c4, and Alekhine replies with e6. Knight c3, knight f6, and we comes again into the queen's gambit decline line. Bishop g5, pinning the knight. Uh, Knight b2 d7, supporting the knight, and e3, closing the pawn structure. c6, solidify black also solidifying the structure. Knight f3, queen a5. So this is a new move, not a completely new move, but in a previous game they tried different things. So in this game they went Alekhine went for queen to a5. Knight d2, bringing knight back, and now bishop b4, trying to attack this knight, and queen c2. So Capablanca protects it because otherwise he would lose a knight and a pawn. Uh, so he protects it. D cross c4, opening the center. Bishop cross f6 and knight cross f6. Knight cross c4 and queen back to c7 as the queen was under attack. Now a3, attacking the bishop, and you can take it, but here Alekhine brings back the bishop. If we would taken it, I guess then it would be again a draw, but so that's why he brings back the bishop, and bishop to e2, king side castle, and Capablanca also castles. Bishop, so now developing the other bishop, bishop to d7, b4, and b6. Bishop f3, pinning the pawn, so can't push the pawn. So first uh, removing rook from the pin, rook to c8, and rook f to d1, bringing rook into center. Rook f to d8. So Alekhine also brings rooks to the center, and once this file is open, that Alekhine also have the control of the file. Rook a to c1 and bishop e8, removing bishop from the open file, a semi-open file, so that there are no attacks on it. So g3, knight d5, and knight b2. So queen back to b8, and knight d3, centralizing the knight, putting to in this putting this knight into very active square. Now this knight can jump anywhere. Yeah. Now I just found out that in leeches you can also do arrow. Yeah. Okay. So moving on to the game, bishop to g5, also pinning this pawn to get pushed because this is protected by this knight. So bishop to g5, and now removing rook from the pin, rook to b1, queen queen b7. Now again trying to bring queen, as the queen here was doing nothing, so bringing here, and maybe ideas of bringing the queen from this way. So e4 as black has removed white has removed the rook from the pin, so now attacking the black's knight, and knight cross c3, exchanging the knight, queen cross c3, and queen to e7. um, h4, attacking the bishop, and bishop back to h6, knight e5, improving the position of the knight, bringing knight to the king side, so he can attack these weaknesses if in case in future it comes. g6, making room for the bishop to go back, and see knight g4. So now bishop g7 and e5, so blocking the diagonal of the bishop, so these two pawns will support each other, and this bishop is kind of it won't be a very powerful bishop, and also white has pushed the pawn to the 5th rank. h5, attacking the knight, and knight goes back to e3. So c5, as now attack in the center and open more files for the rook, or so here Capablanca goes b cross c5 and b cross c5, and now d5. So Alekhine goes e cross d5 and knight cross d5, also attacking the queen this way. Yeah, so queen e6, and Capablanca gives a check, knight f6 check. So bishop cross f6 and e cross f6, as bishop was not doing much. So Alekhine exchanges little bit weak bishop for the very active knight. So first, now Alekhine also exchanges one pair of rook cross d1 and rook cross d1. Bishop c6 and rook e1, attacking the queen, and Alekhine replies queen f5. Now rook e3, doing a small rook lift and also adding more protection to the bishop, and now Alekhine pushes c4. Now this is a little bit of interesting position, but You can't take on this pawn. This pawn is unprotected, but in case if queen takes on this pawn, then simply bishop cross f3, and if rook takes, then this is a little tricky position. You first have to take a, you can't take this rook with the queen, otherwise it will be a check, and here white will be winning. So very tricky position. First you have to take the queen with the rook, and rook cross f, if rook, and this way you will be a rook up. Yeah, so very interesting position. Now a4 and a5, blocking the progress of the pawn. So bishop back to g2, and Alekhine exchanges the bishop, bishop cross c2. Now king to g2 and queen d5 check. uh, King h2, queen f5. Again we are bringing the queen, also trying to attack this weakness. So rook f3. Now queen again back to c5 and rook f4. Now attacking this pawn, attacking the c4 pawn, as it's very advanced pawn. It is very advanced pass pawn. King to h7, so improving position of the king so that there are no attacks on it. d4, uh, rook d4 and queen c6. Um, as you kind of have to give away this pawn, because in next move it would have a, if something else, like, then it would have a attack on the queen, and you wouldn't be able to protect this rook. Yeah, let me check with the engine also. Or even no, maybe there is no. If he goes this, then there is a tricky move. Queen f6 check, h3, and queen f1 check, h2. It's a mate in 11. So queen e2 check and king g1. No, this is, yeah, king, rook cross c4, and now this square is protected by the queen, so white can't take it, and in case if he takes it, then it's a very winning game for black. So very tricky positions, but I don't know why he goes queen c6. So queen cross a5, c3, maybe trying to sacrifice this pawn and start the advancement of this pawn. So as this pawn is only away 2 square from queening, and white has still a long journey to go. So maybe that's why sacrificing a pawn, so that black can march this c3 pawn. Okay, now queen to a7 and king to g8. You need to protect this pawn as it was attacked by the queen. And now queen to e7, queen to b6, and now queen back to d7. Here also it's an interesting position. So once again you can pause the video and try to find out. Here engine shows that rook is a better move, because in next move you threaten next moves from the black are kind of a forcing moves. So means so next move maybe black has to defend it by this, and he kind of loses this control of this file, and this way maybe white would have a better chance. But this is also not very big mistake. But queen d7 and queen c5 and rook e4. So now Alekhine gives queen cross f2 check, king h3, and queen f1 check, king h2, queen f2 check. Once again repeating the position. King h3, and now rook bringing rook back to protect the f7 square. Rook f8. Queen c6 and queen f1 check, king h2, queen f2, king h3. Once again repeating the position, and now king h7. Queen c4. Capablanca goes to exchange the queen, but in case Alekhine exchange, then it would be good for Alekhine, as he would also be able to stop this pawn. But Alekhine don't exchange the queen. Instead, he gives queen f2 check, king h3, and queen g1. Rook e2. So this way kind of this is a forced move, because if not rook not g1, then queen h1 was check and mate. So rook e2 is forced, and now queen f1 check, king h2, and now Alekhine takes the pawn of f6 and also protect his pawn on c3. Very interesting and very amazing game. Now Capablanca goes for a5, but it's a losing move. So once again you can pause the video and find out why. So the line goes like this: queen f1, this engine is also very tricky, guys. Right now it's showing -9, and if we go with the move queen f1 and queen e4, rook to d8, and so maybe idea is next bringing rook here and pinning it. Let's go what white can do, and white can not remove the rook from this file. I- Here the good move is kind of this only. A6 pushing his pawn instead of now rook to d2, exchanging the pawn and pushing it, and this way the game would continue. But in game also the similar position arises: a5, rook d8, and a6, queen to f1. So that only position arise, but from a little bit different move order. So queen e4, uh, and now rook d2, pinning the rook. Now rook has to be exchanged, and rook cross d2 and c cross d2, a7, and yes, this is a top level grandmaster game, and here second queen, and Alekhine pushes d1 and brings another queen to the game. So now Capablanca also, now this position also, it's a mate in 13, but this move a8 is even a mistake, because now Alekhine, you can once again feel free to pause the video and try to find out the move. So because simple, just queen h1, king g3 only move, and queen df1 check and mate. A very wonderful check and mate by Alekhine, and this was the game. Very interesting game, and once again Alekhine is able to win with the black pieces. So I here kind of, this is not a check and mate, but it is in this position Capablanca resigns, because its only move is queen g2, and this will be mate. But in this position, yes, not, this is not a mate in position, but it's a mate in next move. So in this position Capablanca resigns the game, and this was the game. Very very beautiful game, very complicated game, very tricky lines, and that's it. Hope you like it, and hope you subscribe and share this video. Thanks for watching. Hello guys. So yes, here so as I told earlier, I told it by mistake. Here queen, if queen takes here, then this queen on a6 is also set there, so this wouldn't be a mate. But here the move is queen h1 check and mate. Yeah, now this queen is pinned, and the king has nowhere to go. So yes, I just after recording I realized it, that there was a second queen also protecting the square, and there was not mating this, it was not made by this way, but it's made by this queen h1 mate. But game finished here. In this position Capablanca resigns the game, and as I missed that, so I re-recorded this part, and hope you like it. Subscribe. I'm saying this was not by mistake. I wanted to say this again and again, that you subscribe and like this video and share this. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and hope you subscribe after this. So this is the position where Capablanca resides. Thank you. Hope you like it.